Hey guys, it's GirlGotGame. Welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon, where we are here to do this sweet sleepy boys good ending. So, time to pick some opposite choices and see what happens in the good ending. Will he still propose? Time will tell. So last time we let this boy sleep because he needed it. This time we're gonna wake him, and I'm sure he won't be upset at us because he's just too sweet for that, but I feel bad. I gently set a hand on his shoulder. Chevalier? Chevalier mumbles something in his sleep as I shake him. I pull my hand away as he blinks his eyes open. Oh, we even get eyes in the CG.
Princess? Is it morning?
No, it is just past midnight, which is why you ought to be in bed. Chevalier glances around slowly. After a few moments, he smiles sheepishly.
Oh, I've done it again, haven't I?
Yes, you have. I know I should get him to bed now, but... I remember the nightmare. It was more vivid than usual, and though it's possible it's just a normal nightmare, I have my doubts.
Did you have another nightmare, Lucette?
Chevalier is always able to read me so easily. It was a small thing. He reaches out to press a palm to my cheek and smiles softly.
Would you like to talk about it?
We can talk tomorrow.
Or we can talk right now. You know I'm always willing to listen.
I frown at him, but he just continues smiling his sleepy smile at me. Fine, I will tell you. But first sit. I point to the bed. Chevalier is more than happy to oblige. He seats himself beside me on the bed. I recount the dream to him. When I am done, Chevalier no longer looks tired.
I wonder if this is a nightmare fueled by the Tenebrarum.
Could it be? As the Tenebrarum Bearer, I am prone to nightmares, but they have been notably worse since Cinna came to Angielle. Cinna is Parfait's only cousin and the last remaining heir to the Lucis. None of us had heard of him until he spontaneously showed up at the tavern's front door one day. Apparently, Parfait was keeping his identity secret because she did not want to place the burden of bearer on him, especially not at so young an age. But Cinna appeared regardless. Ever since he started living at the Marchen, I have been having strange nightmares. But what could the nightmares have to do with him? Chevalier leans forward and wraps an arm around my waist, pulling me from my thoughts. He plants a tender kiss on my forehead.
Whether or not the Tenebrarum fueled it, a nightmare is still just a nightmare. I think in her own way, your mother wanted the best for you. I think she would be proud of you. We'll see Cinna at the Marchen tomorrow, so perhaps you should bring up your concerns then. You didn't start having nightmares this lucid until he showed up, after all.
Chevalier continues to console me. He has always been good at it. Soon I am relaxed enough to doze on his shoulder. The circumstances never matter. I always feel so safe with him. Those are my last thoughts before I fall asleep in his arms. Aw, that was precious! That wasn't the right choice, but it was so precious. All the same. Aw, but now he's sleepy. I notice, despite his best efforts to smile honestly, that his eyes are foggy. I can tell by the twitch in his lips that he is not well rested. This is my fault for waking him last night. Were you able to sleep, Chev?
Not even a good morning in response?
Answer the question. He shakes his head.
Don't worry, Princess. I'm glad you woke me up. I would have been devastated knowing you were up suffering from a nightmare when I could have consoled you.
But you look like you haven't slept at all. How long were you up?
I think I managed 1 extra hour of sleep.
I groan as I fall back against my pillows.
Don't look so gloomy, Lucette. The sun is shining, the clouds have parted, and there is absolutely no rain in the forecast. Today promises to be a good day. It won't be ruined by something as trivial as insomnia.
As always, Chev is ever the optimist, but he really does need to rest. I stand with a sigh. Fine then. Shall we have some breakfast? My dear, at least you can eat if you're not gonna sleep. As I rudely keep you up. Oh, I get to tell the ladies off this time. Yes, please. I slide away from Chevalier and make my way toward the women.
Lucette!
Chevalier is far more tolerant than I will ever be. The women cease their chatter as I approach, swiveling around to curtsy.
Good morning, Your Highness.
The second woman echoes the greeting. Tell me, is it still a good morning when you hear someone insulting you behind your back? They exchange a mortified glance. Yeah, you didn't think you'd be heard from there? Sheesh.
We humbly apologize, Your Highness.
If you meant your apology, you would not have spoken so brazenly in the first place. They continue to sputter the same apology. I wave them away, irritated. I do not want to hear you speak such demeaning words about my companion again. Understood?
Clearly, Your Highness.
Both women curtsy before rushing off. That was somewhat satisfying.
Lucette?
Chevalier steps in front of me.
Are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be?
You don't need to fight my battles for me. I appreciate your concern, but you shouldn't have to go out of your way for me.
He has gone out of his way for me many times. Is it so wrong for me to do the same? I doubt Father would stand idle if he heard someone criticizing Ophelia in front of him. Some people need to be reprimanded. I can tell that we are at an impasse. Nothing I say will convince him. Let's forget about it for now, Chev. I notice that his gaze is far away, almost melancholy. I hope he is not doubting himself. But the expression slides off his face as quickly as it appears. So suddenly, I wonder if it was there in the first place. This is just going to be me being sad that he's not as confident as we got him to become in the best ending, isn't it? Oh. I broke up the conversation before. I shake my head. You call Chevalier an old man, Cinna, but you are the one who acts most like a grumpy old man. Cinna bristles at the comment. It's hard not to be grumpy when you have to talk to such silly people.
Silly? Aw, tiny lord, I only meant to lighten the mood.
Stop calling me that before I... Manners, Cinnamon, manners. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Not as good as it could have been, of course, but not too bad all in all. Alright, I'm just losing some control here. That's fine. Ah, Mr. Broom. Okay, this time I'm not gonna sweep. I do not have time for this. I step to the side in an attempt to avoid the broom, but it just slides in front to block my path again. I need to find Chevalier and Anise. Move before I freeze you to the ground. Aw, he cried. The broom, thankfully, begins to back away into the reception area. Sorry, Mr. Broom. I decide to follow it. Perhaps someone is inside. The broom has just made it to the door when it suddenly bumps into a bucket and topples. The reception door opens and Anise steps through. Oh, Princess! She looks at me, surprised, before she sees Mr. Broom and understanding lights her features. Oh, Mr. Broom. She moves to help the broom up off the floor.
So that's what that sound was.
Chevalier stands in the doorway, watching everything with amusement. The moment Anise helps Mr. Broom up, it hops away again. Mr. Broom is sulking. I have charmed the broom to sweep on its own, and yet it still harasses me every time I come here.
I think it's drawn to your charisma, Princess.
No, I think Mr. Broom just wants to make my life a living hell. That's a little harsh. The broom was harmless when Parfait enchanted it, but then Delora had to go and give it its infuriating personality.
But it's so dedicated to you. That's a hard thing to find in a broom. I'm sure if you asked, it would follow you to the palace, too.
That is the last thing I want. And he beams at me. Why would I want the broom to be there? In what universe do you think that would be good, Chev? Hey, small boy. I think I answered the boy last time. Chevalier? I set a hand on his shoulder, but much to my surprise, he recoils. The motion is sluggish, as if he doesn't realize he is doing it. The boy looks between the two of us nervously. I turn to him and offer the best consolatory smile I can muster. Don't worry, the doctor is just acting.
Acting?
Yes, he likes to pause dramatically when he's about to say something profound. I turn to Chevalier, hoping he'll play along. Right, Chef? Gleam? Much to my relief, the usual mischievous grin returns to Chevalier's face.
Ah, the princess knows me so well. Truth be told, I was simply at a loss for words because I was overwhelmed imagining Princess Lucette as my wife. To be her husband would be the greatest honor.
So you do plan on marrying her, and then you'll become king, won't you?
The boy doesn't seem to notice the tension in the air. He's not quite confident enough for that yet, my boy. Unfortunately. Alright, this time I thank him.
You're quite welcome, Lucette. You don't need to thank me, though.
Of course I do. If you're going to spoil me and go to such lengths to have other people spoil me as well, the least I can do is thank you. I sigh as I take a bite out of the cookie. As strange as the situation is, I am still grateful.
Your smile is more than enough gratitude for me, Princess.
You always say that.
Because it's true.
I pop the rest of the biscuit into my mouth before reaching for another and holding it out to Chevalier. I hope you do not plan on making me eat all of these by myself.
Of course not.
He takes the biscuit with a bright smile. No. Alright, Cinna. Tell me a fairy tale. In your lovely monotone voice. Trying to remember what happens next. Alright. This time I'm going to argue with you. I fail to see how it is not. The longer this conversation carries on, the harder it is to remain calm. The festering negativity of the Tenebrarum hardly makes it easier.
With all due respect, Princess Lucette.
If you had any respect, you would stop talking and start listening. Dang. Both Cinna and Chevalier stopped to stare at me. What? I'm sure Chevalier was thinking the same thing.
You adults are all the same. You refuse to consider new perspectives.
I am trying to understand you, Cinnamon.
That's Cinna. Let's try assessing this from a different angle, shall we?
Cinna turns away with a scowl. I force myself to take a deep breath. The last thing I want is to make Chevalier worry when he already has other problems to deal with. I come at my argument from a different angle. So we got there in the end. Just we argued longer. And this time I'm going to buy him a scarf. I wonder if the scarf will look different. Or if it will magically look like the one we were going to make him. He was clearly interested in a few of the scarves we saw in the town square. I am no professional seamstress. It is definitely better to just buy him a scarf. With that thought, I head to the town square. This might go a bit differently. I am surprised to see a familiar face when I arrive at the stall. Oh, hello. Are you also buying a scarf for your boy? Emmeline's eyebrows are scrunched together. 2 guards stand nearby, watching the area. They relax as I approach. Emmeline? Emmeline startles so badly, she nearly drops the scarf in her hands.
Oh! It's just you, Lucette.
It is nice to see you, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply I wasn't happy to see you. Actually, I'm quite relieved. Maybe you can help me pick out a scarf.
She must read the question from my expression because the smile on her face turns sheepish.
I'm looking for a scarf for Rod.
Really? For Rod?
It's a peace offering.
Did something happen between the 2 of you?
Oh, it's just the letters. Rod found out today that I was sending them to Prince Lance. He was offended I was keeping it a secret, but... Have you seen Rod's face when I talk about Lance? He gets angry enough to boil water.
That is what Rod always looks like.
Lisette, if Rod knew you'd said that...
He would be angry enough to boil water.
He's only like that because he's protective, I know. But I really hate it when he's angry with me. So I'm going to buy him an apology scarf. Will you help me pick one out?
Of course, but first I mean to buy one for Chevalier. Emmeline smiles brightly.
I heard about those biscuits at the cafe the other day. Is this to thank him for that?
No, I am just doing this because I want to do something nice for him.
Oh! Then how about I help you choose something for Chev and you help me select something for Rod?
Never thought I'd be shopping for Rod again, but here we are. The 2 of us begin sifting through the scarves. Eventually, we narrow our selection down to 3 scarves. I contemplate for a long time before finally picking a scarf I think feels right for Chevalier. I could have sworn I saw him eyeing this one before. It is simple, but still lightly patterned, and I know Chev likes patterns.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love that one, Lucette. It seems his style.
Good, then I will buy it. After purchasing the scarf, I assist Emmeline with her own purchase. Before long, we find a scarf that seems like it would suit Rod. After Emmeline purchases and packages it, she turns toward me with a bright smile. Can we have both our boys in scarves, please? In the picture? Thank you.
I'm sure Chevalier will love the scarf, Lucette.
And I am sure Rod will accept your peace offering.
I hope so.
Good luck.
To you as well.
Thanks, sis. We part ways after that. I leave Emmeline to her errands and return to the palace on my own. Okay. So I should be able to give him the gift sooner? I place the package in the dresser by my bed as soon as I return. The last thing I want is for Chev to see it before I find the right time to give it to him. I have only just put the scarf away when a knock sounds on the door. Come in. I am sitting on the bed when Chevalier strolls inside.
Well, well, and here I thought you'd be running yourself dry. It's good to see you relaxing. Do you mind if I join you?
No, of course not. I slide over to make room for Chevalier. Okay. He really has no idea what I'm up to this time. This time I'm going to press him for an answer. Chev, how can I help you if you don't tell me the truth?
Lucette. Huh. Most of them were friendly.
And the ones who weren't?
Princess, you have a scary look on your face.
Say the word and I will hunt them down. Dang. Go, Lucette. In the very least, they should know that disrespecting Chevalier is tantamount to disrespecting me.
Princess, you really don't need to worry so much. These battles are mine to fight.
Except you don't fight at all, Chev. You just smile and nod.
I prefer pacifism.
In the end, this conversation has gotten us nowhere. Ah, it's very sad. We're at an impasse yet again. You don't fight, you just smile and nod. Smile and nod, boys. Smile and nod. Alright, touching scene with Witch Mama. I'm gonna miss you so much next time, Delora. Oh, my heart is not ready. Okay, so this is when I was working on the scarf and Fritz came to visit. I collapse onto my bed with an undignified groan. Ugh, another long day. Since Chev was not yet out of work, I decided to drop by my room after the meeting to see if I could get some rest. Okay, enter Fritz. And you'll have nothing to say about scarves because the scarf is hidden. Okay.
And even if he is a little irritated, I did give him a peace offering the other day. That should help tide him over.
Considering the effort we went through to get him that scarf, I would hope so. You would hope, but it is Rod. Okay, so we should be asking Ophelia for advice this time. He is, as always, insistent that things are going well. But
his patients are being condescending.
how did you know?
Because it seems a person's worth is often determined by their ancestry in this world.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Once, I too shunned Ophelia and her children for not being of royal blood. The realization makes my stomach knot. Ophelia, I'm sorry about before.
You don't need to apologize, Lucette. I came into your life after a great loss. It's only natural you were so wary of me. And besides, that's all in the past. What matters now, Chevalier, right?
He always lets people walk over him, and he does not let me stand up for him.
Because you can't fight his battles for him. If you did, the nobility would never accept him. They'd think he was using you as a shield.
Then what must I do?
Support him, and let him find his own way. Sometimes the best way to guide someone is to listen to them.
Chevalier says the same thing, that listening is key. Thanks, stepmom. You always got such good advice for all manner of occasions. Okay, so we didn't talk about the Ophelia thing with Chev this time. Now I'm going to use ice instead of flowers. Ice is one of my strongest elements, and I might have a way to improve on Cinna's spell. I step forward and concentrate on the falling petals. The petals shine in mid-air, reforming into bright crystalline snowflakes. There are gasps and sounds of glee from the audience, and then everyone is clapping and cheering.
A spectacular performance from the most talented and beautiful witch in Angielle.
Chevalier winks. You gotta be kidding me! That was amazing. Doesn't have to be a snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman, Lucette?
There is definitely not enough snow here to do that. Cinna looks up at us, eyebrows furrowed. I cannot tell if he is annoyed or unimpressed. He just wants to break out and to let it go. Claude holds out a hand. Snowflakes settle on his palm.
I wouldn't know this magic anywhere. How fitting for a certain lovely ice princess.
Oh no, I got two sparkle boys on screen. His eyes fall on me, but I am too shocked by his sudden appearance to respond. Pardon? Okay. So they came and surprised us. Yes, let's bring up your lessons in flirting, shall we? You tried to teach me how to flirt because you were convinced it would help me be good. Chevalier looks horrified. Not in front of your dad, don't say that.
Princess, I just lost my memory. What kind of excuse is that? As if anyone would need lessons in that.
Emmeline leans toward me. Yo, but for real, is there, like, good lessons in there that you'd like to share with your sister? Don't hold out on me, girl. Oh, it's too funny.
Were they at least helpful lessons?
No. Princess!
Sorry. At least Dad finds it very amusing and is not horrified at all. Oh, look! It's a new one! That's a cute one, too. Although I like the one she made him more. But that is a nice detail that they actually went to the trouble of making the scarves different. So I bought one for you.
Lucette, you went back to the stall for me?
It is the least I can do.
Least? This is the most incredible gift I could ever receive, Lucette.
No. Aw, look at his new scarf! I don't know why, it looks so festive. I do like that scarf, though. That's nice. This scene I'm not a fan of doing, voicing his opinion for him. But it must be done. Permission to speak, Your Majesty.
Permission granted.
I share what I know must be on Chevalier's mind. If we invest more gold in things like medicines, we would have to decrease their prices on the market for them to be accessible to those who need them. Our citizens would benefit from additional supplies and services, of course, but how are they to afford them if the amenities are more expensive and they are paying more from their own pockets? That seems to silence the counselor. I glance at Chevalier, who looks at me approvingly. He looks less anxious, though it is still strange to see him being so quiet. I'm sorry, Chev. You didn't earn as much respect, although that lord was still like, yo, thank you. You know what you're talking about when it comes to medicine, so Chev is still winning at some things, despite Lucette's interference. Okay, I gotta answer for him again. This is a difficult subject for Chevalier. He was even closer to Parfait than I was. I will not force him to relive the painful memories if I can help it. There was a cruel witch who wanted to use me to bring my mother back. He used the royal family as hostages. When we tried to save them, he retaliated and attacked me. Parfait threw herself in front of his blade. She saved me. We killed the witch, but...
It didn't matter. I couldn't save Lady Parfait.
I wrap an arm around Chevalier. He deflates beneath my touch. Aw, instead of leaning into her. It wasn't your fault, Chev. I look at Cinna. Parfait was one of Chevalier's patients. He did everything he could to save her, but the wound was fatal. She told us not to fuss, and that she was proud of me for not being like my mother. She died with a smile on her face.
How very like Faye.
Cinna runs a hand through his hair. His sigh is soft, fragile.
For so many years, I thought she was weak. But that wasn't the case at all, was it?
No, she was brave. Brave lady. Alright, I think all that's left is the dance. And then we see what results from our actions. But it's not only the scarf that's gonna change, something else is gonna change. I look up and try to find Chevalier, and I'm startled to see he has disappeared. Where has he gone? I attempt to go looking for him, but it is unexpectedly difficult. The crowd is dense, and all of the movement makes it difficult to spot him. Okay, so that goes a lot faster, until we get just caught up in the dance anyway. Okay, here we go. Mother again?
Lucette.
A voice reaches out to me from the depths of my mind, soft and gentle. Mother.
Hello, my dearest heart. Have you given thought to what I said?
My brain is fuzzy. Whatever memory my mother is referring to, I cannot remember.
Have you forgotten already?
Mother crosses her arms with a scowl.
I told you that love serves us no power, but I see you have not changed. You still put your trust in everyone, even when it is a weakness. I told you once that promises were lies crafted by people who would use you. And yet, you decide to put your trust in a fairy, in a human. I'm sorry, Mother. Words are meaningless, my heart.
Perhaps, but... A niece's advice from years ago comes to mind. I have not forgotten it, not once. Sometimes apologizing is all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. I shake my head. You misunderstand me, Mother. I am not sorry about the choices I have made. I am only sorry you could never understand them. I will not be ashamed of thinking for myself, not anymore. Parfait trusted me to make things better. She believed in me. And I believe in me too. My mother's icy expression slips, revealing a softness that makes my heart sink. For a few moments, she appears almost apologetic. Mother.
Princess?
Oh. Well, that's interesting. I wake abruptly to see Cinna standing before me, arms crossed.
You were mumbling in your sleep.
What? I remember that I am in the Marchen. It is the day after the festival, and I have been sitting here waiting for Chevalier to return with Anissa's supplies. I fell asleep. I do my best to appear collected as I smooth down my hair and dress.
I'd fall asleep too if I had to spend my days with that boring old man. I do have that calming effect on people, I suppose.
Nice. I glance out to see Chevalier walking downstairs, Anise in tow. Cinna scowls.
Making people fall asleep isn't a talent. You're much too cynical for your age, tiny lord. You can make anything a talent with the right attitude. Your optimism is insufferable.
Chevalier waves as Cinna walks off with a grumble.
And your pessimism is endearing.
Anise smiles.
Did we interrupt something?
No, not at all. Did you collect everything you came here for, Chev?
Indeed. As always, Lady Anise has exactly what I need.
I glance at Anise. I hear from Chev that you've started working from the pharmacy. How are things? I hope you've at least been taking gold from them. Unlike someone else I know.
Princess, you know I've gotten better.
Anise laughs when I eye him skeptically.
Even if he wanted to, I don't think Chevalier could ever refuse gold from His Majesty.
She smiles.
Things are going well at the pharmacy, and I do take the coin. I wouldn't be able to afford making my remedies and salves without it.
It is good to see someone with some business sense.
Princess, is that your mission to break my heart so completely it will never heal?
I have faith in your talent to mend it.
Throwing my own words back at me, I see.
You make it too easy. I rise from my chair with a sigh. My body is sore after the festivities, but it is a gratifying pain. A gratifying pain,
Heading out so soon?
Unfortunately, we have an important meeting with the Brigantian nobility today.
Oh, what about?
A Prince Exchange program.
Anise looks confused.
Prince Exchange?
Claude has invited Rod to learn dance in Brigantia, but he also wants to foist his brother on us in exchange.
Oh, Emmeline would love that.
I am sure she would, wouldn't she? Anise smiles sheepishly and twiddles her thumbs. Do you and Emmeline talk about Lance frequently?
Oh, do tell, Anise.
Sometimes me and Emmeline talk about a lot of people.
Anise trails off, looking so flustered I almost feel guilty for bringing it up. It's fine, Anise. I appreciate that Emmeline can talk to you about these things.
Oh no, I only meant to say that it's helpful to swap advice, because
Who are you interested in? Anise smiles almost shyly.
I have this customer who visits the pharmacy very often. He's very kind and,
Anise!
Yes?
There's a man you fancy and you haven't told me.
I was waiting for the right time. We've only spoken a few times.
It's okay, Anise. I wouldn't tell Chevalier anything either. Chevalier slumps against the wall.
Lucette?
His flirting advice leaves much to be desired. That seems to make Anise less nervous. She laughs.
I could never keep secrets from you two. Emmeline just wanted someone to talk to, and we were in similar situations, so...
Ah yes, the yearning.
I stomp down close to Chevalier's foot and he yelps and slides away. Poor Chev. He's getting bullied.
But yes, do tell me all about it when you're ready, Anise. For now, the princess and I really ought to be going.
He holds up the bag of supplies.
Thank you for the supplies.
Of course.
I am about to follow Chevalier out the door when Anise calls my name softly.
Princess, I know I'm not the best at this sort of thing, but if you ever want to talk about Chevalier or the future or any of that, you know I'm always willing to listen.
Likewise, Anise. I will always lend an ear. Aw, friends! That's nice. I wave to Anise as I exit. We should have a girl slumber party. With hot chocolate. And have Sebi come too, just because. He's the best shipmeister, after all. Outside, the town feels sleepier than it has in days. Everyone is in the process of taking down streamers and equipment. Not too far away, I find a flower seller taking down wreaths. Unsurprisingly, Chevalier has stopped to assist her. The stall owner thanks him with, of all things, a flower crown. When Chevalier tries to set it on my head, I stand on the tips of my toes and set it on his head instead. It suits you. He winks at me.
Do I look like a prince, then? One fit to escort you down a serene forest path?
Forest path?
I was just thinking we ought to take a detour. It's been a while since we've had some peace and quiet.
You're not going to get us lost, are you?
Never. I have an impeccable sense of direction.
Chevalier takes my hand and, humming to himself, leads me through the plaza into the forest. All right, what you up to? The minute we step into the copse, the hustle and bustle of the town falls away, replaced with a gentle chattering of insects. For the first time in a long while, I let down my guard and lean against Chevalier. He mindlessly wraps an arm around my shoulders.
You looked so sleepy earlier, Princess. I couldn't help but think you needed some time to decompress. You haven't had a moment to breathe since the festival started, have you?
And here you and Ophelia were convinced it would help me relax. Chevalier smiles sheepishly.
Aw, it wasn't meant to help you relax so much as enthuse you, I suppose.
Well, it worked, but now I would like nothing more than to sleep for days.
How convenient that Cinna said I had the uncanny ability to make others fall asleep.
I laugh as we duck under a tree branch. It's a shame you are not supposed to be in my bedroom at night. At Chevalier's guilty expression, I clasp his hand and smile. Though I think if Father wanted to find out, he would. Surely you must see that he enjoys you being at the palace. Chevalier chuckles. It is a soft, almost nervous sound.
Do you truly think so?
He let you sit in on a council meeting, and I've gotten word he's invited you to attend more in the future. Father would only give that privilege to someone he trusts, that he wants on his council.
I confess I feel unworthy sometimes. A poor doctor like me, sitting with all of those sophisticated nobles.
I stop so abruptly, Chevalier nearly trips over his feet. When he pauses to glance back at me, I set a hand on his cheek and guide his face to mine. Chevalier, do you trust me? I remember us walking this path years ago on a similar detour. I remember Chevalier putting a hand to my cheek and saying, "You can trust me." His eyes are the same as they were then, beautiful and violet, and so sincere it makes my heart full.
Forever and always, Princess.
Good. Then trust me when I say I have no reason to ever lie to you. I know my family enjoys your company. I know you are capable of anything you put your mind to. Whether it's participating in court or taking care of your patients, you will always be more than capable. Chevalier looks at me in wonder. And then he reaches out and laces his fingers through mine, gently pulling my hand away from his face.
Lucette, there's something I want you to see.
He pulls me behind him, continuing until we reach two trees with intertwining branches.
It's through here.
Chevalier helps me past the branches and walks into a clearing. What I see takes my breath away. It is a part of the forest I've never been to, filled with a myriad of bright flowers. Some grow between tree branches and others sway beneath our feet. It is a plethora of color, a hidden and serene sanctuary. Chevalier, how... But before I can say anything, Chevalier abruptly shifts his weight. I fall into him, and the two of us go tumbling down into the flowers. The motion loosens Chevalier's glasses, so he simply slides them into a pocket before turning to face me. Aww! That is so cute! Adorable. What is all this?
I went exploring the other day and found this lovely little haven. I have dubbed it the Princess's Private Court.
Oh, and who are to be my subjects? Chevalier kisses my knuckles and winks at me.
Why, me, of course. Does that dissatisfy you? Shall I find some cute animals to join your court?
I cannot help my laughter. You make me sound like a fairy tale princess.
Who's to say our life isn't a fairy tale? Anything is possible with the power of optimism.
Truly, our life is far from a fairy tale. We must deal with prejudices and injustice, and our problems are not easily solved with magic. But that makes a happy ending all the more worth fighting for.
That's why I won't give up. For you, I will do anything, my sweet queen.
One step at a time, right? One day at a time, we will get closer to a future where I can sit on the throne with Chevalier by my side. Father and Ophelia did it. So can we. Oh, good. It occurred to me, like, yesterday that I don't think I got a kiss CG with these two. I had to wait for the good ending to get the kiss. I am fully satisfied now. I leaned forward to kiss Chevalier on the lips. Once gently, a soft kiss.
Lucette,
Yes, Chev.
I love you. More than anything in this world.
I love you too. Mwah. We share another kiss beneath the shadows of the trees. In this place, there is no one else. There is just us and our dreams for the future. What is this? Cinnamon bun? Sweet surprise. That was cute. I wish I could transfer the proposal to that scene of them lying down in the field. Because if it just morphed from that into like, oh, by the way, also, would you marry me? That would have been like the icing on the cake. Would have been 10 out of 10, perfection. But I'll take it. I'll take it anyway. Got my kiss CG, which I'm happy about. The best ending was definitely better, even with the basically scene for scene recreation of his proposal to Bria. Which still bugs me. But other than that, I think Chev somehow managed to win first spot in my heart so far in this game, which was so unexpected. I really, really like him. He's great. What a great route, all in all. Just loved everything about that. Alright, so with that being said, we are done once again with Evermore. And so we will be going back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, where this time we are having a short story between Sayori and Natsuki. So that should be interesting, considering the two of them got along so famously to start with. I wonder what kind of problems we're going to have over there. Well, guess we'll find out together, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, I will see you later.